Today we're going to can blueberries. I've never canned blueberries before. We have always froze them, but right before we moved, our freezer died, and the new freezer that we bought is much smaller. So we want to make sure we don't fill it with fruit, so we're going to attempt canning them. So I'm going to can them. We picked them a couple days ago. They've been in the refrigerator. They've all been washed. And so we're going to pack them in the hot jars. And the blueberries are cold. And then I made a very light syrup. I guess that's too much. I'll pour in after. So we're going to get these. I think we need to. I've never done this before, so it's a learning curve here.
We went to a beautiful place to pick blueberries, didn't we?
Oh, it was beautiful. Yeah, and it was a hot day. It was nice and sunny, but we had a great time. It didn't take us that long. I think we picked like 5.5 pounds or something like that.
In a half an hour?
Yeah, it was probably a little longer than that. But yeah.
And I ate probably 100.
Yeah, it's a good thing they didn't weigh you. So we'll see what we get here. I think we're going to easily, I'm hoping to get a full canner, but we might not. And we're doing this outside for two reasons. One, I have a little bit more space out here. It's a beautiful day. And we're going to actually process them outside on the propane cooking stove. So
That's a new for us too.
yeah, it'll be easier, shorter distance to walk.
Right.
To bring them over the canner.
We're trying to change our lifestyle up here. Use a lot less different things in life. And the propane is cheap, it's easy.
Well,
Electric is too.
You know, it's going to heat the cabin up.
Yeah.
If we use the cooktop. So I think we might get.
Whoa.
We might get
You might be done.
Might be 9. And then we'll see what happens once we.
You did good.
There's a little stem in there. Yeah, make sure you want to make sure that there's no stems. So, so I had to go through all the berries, wash them. Hopefully I got all the stems.
I think you got the things right up full.
Yeah, I know. It's perfect.
The birds will love them if you get too many. We have 2 African gray parrots.
Okay, so we're going to shake them down just a little bit per the instructions. And I'm using the USDA recommendations. There we go. Okay, they'll look about even.
Looks good.
We probably could change these. Put a few more in each.
They gonna float when you put the juice in?
I don't know. Go find out.
Find out. I'm asking because I don't know either.
I don't know. I said I've never done this, so we're gonna see. And then after we do the syrup, then we'll wipe the rims off just to make sure there's no sticky residue. I've already checked the rims to make sure that there aren't any chips or cracks.
Oh,
Okay.
and you got to show your apron.
Oh, yes, I got this apron from my good friend Charlene, and I've never really worn an apron before, so
yeah,
this is kind of exciting for me. Have an apron. Okay, now I need that funnel again. Okay, here we go.
you do have more room out here.
I know we do have a lot more room.
It's a nicer view too.
All right, here we go. So the syrup is hot. And we're going to leave a 1/2 inch head space. So I'm going to start with, I think, 2 ladlefuls. I want to make sure I have enough of the syrup for each jar before I can always add hot water. Supposedly this is enough syrup for 9 pints. And then for our altitude, I will have to process them for 20 minutes. So I believe we're slightly over 1,000 feet.
Yeah, I think 1,088 or 3488. I'm not exactly sure what it was.
Yeah, so I'm going to err on the side of caution. If it's under 1,000 feet, then it's 15 minutes. It's not going to hurt to do it an extra 5 minutes. It's something about the boiling temperature of water. The higher the altitude is, it's lower. So if you don't do it long enough, then you're not killing everything off.
You didn't go pass us by our son?
No, I know. I should have asked that.
the computer,
The
the math guy.
Oh, the walking encyclopedia.
Encyclopedia. Kid knows everything.
Well, it's funny because when he was here, we checked 2 different ways to see what our altitude is, and we got 2 different answers. So when I did it, it was over 1,000.
And I got 1,068 or 88 or something like that.
And then when he did it, I think he was like at 974 or I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think we might not even need the hot water. I think we're going to have plenty of syrup.
Uh-huh. Nice job.
So I guess the USDA knows what they're talking about.
Yeah. Well, government.
And then what we'll do is we'll use our little tool to get out any air bubbles, and we'll have to adjust the head space. And the head space is the gap from the top of your, I don't want to smash the berries, so this is going to be, I'll do it from the side. Now you see how the level of the juice went down there because I'm getting the air bubbles out.
Oh, yeah, right there. Move another one over here. I want to get close and see it.
We'll try it this one.
Yeah. Oh, way down. Oh.
Yeah, you always want to do this. Just want to make sure there's no pockets of air in there. Makes a difference.
It makes
See?
a big difference.
Air bubble just went big.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah, I got it on video.
Yeah, so now we'll have to go through and put more syrup or hot water to bring it back up to a 1/2 inch.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. This is interesting.
It's a science. You want to make sure that it's going to be safe and shelf stable. I don't think we're going to have a problem eating these within a year.
How many jars?
Maybe 9. 9 fit in the canner. So, and actually we had just enough berries for that, so that was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we doing what, pickles next? Or no, we're doing cabbage next.
I think we're going to try. Well, sauerkraut's going to take a little while to
Ferment, yes.
so we'll get it cut up, but we'll video that.
Nice.
Okay, so this one, this little tool has marks on here. So from here to here, that's a 1/2 inch. I got to bring it up just a hair. So
all of these up, huh?
yeah, I'm going to bring them all up a little bit. So that one's probably good.
Same. Table's not level though.
Yeah, well, you want to make sure you have enough head space.
You do.
Or not too much, just depending on what you're... It's different for each thing that you're canning, so you have to read the directions to see what it is.
You're just gonna have enough probably.
Yeah, probably.
That one took a lot. Well, it didn't.
And I can always use the hot water. It's not that big a deal. Yeah, so this is a new thing, I guess, very light syrup. So it was 6.5 cups of water to only 3/4 of a cup of sugar. So when you think about it, it's really not a lot of sugar per jar. And I just think it's going to help
Preserve it.
Well, just make the blueberries can, keep their syrup.
You made just enough.
I know. This never happens.
So right here.
Just down to the end. I might just pour it.
You did good, babe.
And here we go.
Look at that. Huh?
Just about a half.
A little bit more in there.
Yeah, that one.
You got no more left.
I
think you did it.
Let's just double check. Make sure we're at half. Oh, that one's a half.
That's pretty close.
That one's a
The
half.
tool's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, we need to add a little bit of water in a couple of the jars.
Yeah. That was too much, I think.
Yeah, this is a little...
Yep.
I think there's a little bit more fruit in this one.
Yeah.
That one's better.
There you go.
So maybe this one.
Now you got to add, do you have a towel or something to wipe everything down with?
Yeah, I have a towel.
Oop, I'm going to get over here.
Just a little bit more in this one. That one. This is just water, so.
Hot water.
Good.
Hot water.
Hot water. Everything's hot.
Yep.
We don't want the jars to. The water in the canner is still hot. So here I have a cloth.
Oh, I thought you were going to wipe them dry. Okay.
No, we just want to make sure there's nothing sticky.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if they're just doing the rims. in case any of that sugar syrup got on the rim. It'll affect, whether it seals properly or not. We want them to seal.
So this is the first time, and in probably 35 years that we had to go buy blueberries. At our other house, we had them.
I know.
It's weird. Isn't it? It's just, things have changed our life.
Yeah, well,
It's good for it.
we were talking about this fall getting some blueberry bushes, and so that's the plan for here. So, all right, we got our lids. Always use brand new lids.
All trustworthy, right?
Yep. And don't buy the cheapo. Get a name brand lid, Ball or 4 jars.
And they make the jars.
They make the jars, right? Exactly. And you're going to get a good seal. Okay, now our rings. And you only do them finger tight. Not too tight because you want the air in the jar to be able to escape. It's a little hard on this. Everything is different here. I'm not used to doing it outside on a cookie sheet.
But look at your kitchen is
I know, it's a pretty
massive.
It's a pretty nice kitchen. Yeah, we wanted an outdoor kitchen. Who knew?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 more. Get them in the canner.
This is our Brinkman stove. We paid $50 for this thing.
Set these in the. Here we go.
Okay. You're gonna set them down in the water, right? When
Yep.
you're done. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna get them on here and then set them in the water. I've actually usually don't do it this way,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I have to balance it a little. I have to make room, guys. Move over. There we go. And there.
Get them all?
And one in the middle.
One no.
Okay. I'm just gonna lower this down. In the hot water. The water is not on, but it's still hot. Oh, that's pretty good.
They're bubbling.
And we wanted about 1 inch. I saved some of the hot water, so I'm gonna add just a little bit more of the hot water.
Let's see, jar's bubbling a little bit.
Just to make sure it's covered right. About at least 1 inch of water. So that'll be good. All right. So we're gonna light the stove. Set the timer. Once it starts boiling, we'll set the timer for 20 minutes. And you don't want it to be, you want a good boil, but you don't want to have it boiling like crazy. So we'll adjust the temperature a little bit just so we have a nice steady boil. Set the timer for 20 minutes, and then we'll come back. Okay. All right, I think we're boiling. Yeah, that looks good.
Ooh, that's nice.
Maybe a little more of a harder boil. And then I'll go inside and set the timer for 20 minutes. And then we'll come back and take them out. Okay, bright sunny day. So we decided while the canner is boiling for 20 minutes that we would take you on an updated garden tour. So I don't know if you remember from a previous video, we planted this in honor of our pets, and it's just wildflower mix. So I actually don't even know what's going to grow. I think this is a weed, and I know this is a weed, but I don't know what these are going to be. They're going to be something.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get some flowers. There's some on this side. And yeah, so we're excited to see what's going to happen there. And over here is our hugelkultur that we built. Made it into our herb garden. So we have parsley, curly parsley, which I'm going to harvest some and dry it so we can have it for the winter. And this is lavender and sage. Sage is doing great. So I'm definitely going to preserve some of this. I do need to weed in here, so I apologize for the weeds. We have a beautiful dill. Some dill heads. So when we do our pickles, we can use the dill heads. Over here on this side, this is oregano. which is looking awesome. And oregano will come back every year. I love the smell of oregano. And this is flat leaf parsley. And this was my attempt at spinach. And this is the only spinach that came up, and actually it was just too hot, so it's going to be bitter. I'm not even going to bother trying to taste that because it's probably not going to be very good. And then we have two different kinds of chives here. These are a little bit heavier. This one says Storo chives, and I'm not sure what kind this is. But the chives will come back
sign
every
right
year
there.
too. Is there?
Yeah, pull that up. I
Oh,
can't see
here we
it.
go. This one says just allium. Yeah, it's just chives. Okay.
Good.
So this is nasturtium. This basket came with a bunch of the herbs that are in the herb garden, and I transplanted them from here into the herb garden. But nasturtium flowers are edible. Would you like to have a flower, Gregory?
No, I'll pass.
Why? You don't eat a flower?
I've eaten them. They're okay. I like
good.
them. They're not bad.
They're good.
Yeah.
A little peppery. You know, they have a little kick to them, but they're good. A lot of times people put them in salads, but they're good. But that's nasturtium, so that's doing well, and that won't come back. There's a lot of new buds on it, though. I think you have to. It's an annual, I think, but that's okay. It's actually my first time having nasturtium. Okay, so I planted some things into pots because I actually don't know where I want them, and these are all perennial. Well, not all perennials, but I'll go one by one. So this right here, this is an echinacea. So this is a perennial, so I will find a place to put this, and it will come back next year. This lovely little plant is chamomile. And so what I've been doing is picking these little flowers. Actually missed one when I picked them earlier. And I will dry them, and you can make tea. But this has to get replanted every year, the chamomile. This is comfrey, which has already flowered once. Comfrey is great. It has a really long taproot, like 8 feet. So wherever you plant comfrey, that is where it's going to be forever. I really don't know where I want it yet, so I put it in a pot. Got this at a local nursery, local Amish nursery. And this is peppermint, which when you plant peppermint, any kind of mint in the ground, you want to make sure you put it where you don't care, because it's gonna take over. It's pretty invasive. But I'm gonna harvest. I'm gonna cut this back and dry this because you can use this in tea too. And peppermint, oh, I can smell it. Peppermint will come back every year. So
Okay.
that's peppermint.
Think about the couple of things we have over here.
Let's see. Well,
This got overgrown right now.
yeah, it's overgrown.
This
here.
is-
You
this
know,
is
it's a
our-
whole process. This is my little rhubarb plant that Greg transplanted from Connecticut. So something's been munching on it, but it will come back every year.
There's a horseradish right
And
there.
then our horseradish here. This is this part of the horseradish?
Yes, it is. Yep. Yep.
So that will come back every year.
Yep.
So we have... Okay, I don't know if you remember from when we first built these raised beds, we put this little tomato plant in there, and it was about this big, and it is just crazy. It has a lot, I believe this is the cherry tomato. It has a lot of fruit on it. Not ripe yet, but tons
Oh,
of
yeah.
flowers and lots of,
there's
lots of tomatoes
right here.
coming. Yep, yep. So we're gonna have lots of
It's the first year.
beautiful little cherry tomatoes.
We're trying. We built these raised beds. They're nice.
And then this is a different tomato plant here. This one has bigger tomatoes. They're
Right here,
still,
right here.
yeah, still green.
Right in here.
Yep.
See 'em? The size of those are big.
And then this is an early tomato, this one, and we've actually have already harvested some tomatoes off of it. So let me just pick this guy. Here.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, so we've been munching on these. Here we have basil, purple basil. And this is going to seed, so I've got to pinch these off. This is regular basil. These are our crazy radishes, which I think are just planted way too close together.
Yeah.
We're not getting very good radish harvest.
We had a slug problem, which then we
Yeah.
fixed that.
Yeah, see, they're not really
Yeah,
getting,
they're not growing.
getting
They're
big.
hard, yeah.
But you know what? Sometimes you have a fail, and next time you do better. So.
Yep.
And these are peppers. Actually, there's a little pepper here.
Yep.
And there's another pepper on this plant. So we're getting some peppers. So we're eating them and enjoying them. But we will hopefully have some to get in the freezer. I think there's four plants
There's
there.
more coming right here.
And we need to actually
flowers.
tie these up. They're getting a little top heavy. And this is our mystery cucumber that we got from SUNY Cobleskill. And it is a pickling cucumber, which is great because we love pickling cucumbers.
They had no idea, so they gave it to us.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little free plant. There's tons of little, we've already eaten quite a few cucumbers off of here. That one's not quite ready, but we'll be harvesting more of those. And then in here we planted beets, so they're starting to grow. And I have to pull, I have to pull some of the purslane out of there.
It's not raining, so
No.
shut it off.
So in this bed, we have green beans, which we have lots of flowers. I was in here the other day, you can see all the flowers.
Eggshells in there too.
Yeah,
Those
we
are
put eggshells in there because we had a slug problem, so we crushed up a bunch of eggshells. But I'm not seeing any green beans yet, which is okay. But there's a whole row of green beans, and they're just doing great.
Yep.
And then behind the green beans, this is Swiss chard, which is beautiful. We love Swiss chard. I actually prefer Swiss chard to spinach. And you can, keep harvesting off of it, and it'll just keep growing the whole season. And then getting buried back here is the kale. So we'll be harvesting some of that. And then all this in here, you would think is a weed. Some people think it's a weed. It's actually purslane. And purslane grows everywhere. It's actually, you can see it's going to get little yellow flowers right there. But this is also edible, and it's very high in vitamin C. And if you're going to pick anything in the wild, make sure you do your research and you know that it's edible. There are some lookalikes. You want to make sure that you're, when you break the purslane, there shouldn't be any white milky substance coming out. If it is white, don't eat it. And then these are the pickling cukes that we planted. We started from seed. Look at them. They are just crazy.
Like we said, this is the first year for us up here, so we're trying to.
I know, but look,
new.
we're going to have a
Thing is
ton.
full of flowers.
I know, we're going to have a ton of cucumbers. We're thinking about buying like a half a bushel of pickling cucumbers.
Right,
and we are not going to need to buy any because we're going to have a ton of them, which is awesome. Our first year here, and we're going to be able to put up our own pickles. So, and just in a raised bed, see what you can grow in 2 raised beds.
Yeah.
Very rewarding.
Very rewarding, yes
Yep,
it is.
It is.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching, and we will come back when we take the blueberries out of the canner. Okay, we're ready to go. Take them out of the canner. So they boiled for 20 minutes. Then I shut the canner off and let it set for 5 minutes, just so that they're not quite as hot.
Whoa.
There they are. And that's normal that they're all squished up to the top like that. That happens with the tomatoes when I can them. And the good thing about this, with the white syrup, not a lot of sugar in it, it's going to be blueberry juice, basically. You'll be able to eat everything in that jar. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to put them all on the tray. I'm going to bring them inside. We're going to let them set undisturbed for 24 hours. And then I will check the seals, make sure that they're all sealed. Take the rings off because you don't want to store your canned goods with the rings on. And the reason for that is that if for some reason the seal doesn't stay sealed tight, you think it might be if you leave the ring on, but if you take the ring off, then you're going to know when you pick the jar up that it's not sealed. So you really need to take those rings off, but you have to wait 24 hours. And then we'll write the date on there, what it is in there, and store them in our pantry.
What are you gonna do with the purple water?
What am I gonna do with the purple water? I don't know. I guess I'll let it cool down and we'll water the plants.
Oh, that's a good idea.
We don't
Recycling.
waste any water around here. All right, you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching.